it will take some time for King Charles to gain the trust of the public, given the controversy surrounding Diana's death. Queen Elizabeth II reigned for more than 70 years and survived wars. The Queen was the longest reigning monarch from February 1952 to September 8, 2022. Her death on September 8th undoubtedly shocked the entire world following the death of her husband, Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, last year. Now that the beloved Queen is gone, the question that everyone has in mind is what will happen to the United Kingdom. Stay tuned to this video as we discover what we can expect to happen next.
Even as we grieve, we give thanks for this most faithful life. I am deeply aware of this great inheritance and of the duties and heavy responsibilities of sovereignty, which have now passed to me.
Charles Philip Arthur George III, or King Charles, will now rule the most well-known and maybe the most successful monarchy in history. His mother, Queen Elizabeth II, revolutionized the British royal family and solidified her place in the hearts of the people. And these are incredibly big shoes for the incoming king to fill. Charles, the oldest British king to ascend to the throne, is already the center of attention. King Charles III has two tasks to complete. He must maintain the stability of his family and uphold the monarchy's honor. Charles has given us enough insight while serving as the heir, apparent to predict some of his future actions. He has also handed over his old responsibilities as heir to the English throne to Camilla, his darling wife, especially in cases of charities and events he can no longer attend as the king. Meanwhile, William, who is his heir, will assume his Scottish titles, which to him meant a lot, along with their heirs and his wife, Catherine. The new king is also currently the leader of the Church of England, which is the nation's official church. Charles made it to a point to encourage a variety of religions in his capacity as heir. Like his mother, he went to places of worship, but he went further and publicly studied other religious materials. The Quran gives some profound and insightful insights, much like other holy writings. Charles also receives a new title as well, and he is now known as the Defender of the Faith. In other terms, he is the Anglican Church Defender. Now, Charles once expressed his desire to be remembered as the Defender of Faith in a quite bold manner. The defendant of religious belief in general, as opposed to Anglicanism, to put it another way. Family conflicts and disagreements occur, especially in huge families. Our present royal family is a prime example of this. Nevertheless, despite all of the personality conflicts, the Queen was revered by all of the family members and made an effort to keep things civil. To be as uniting as his mother was, the future monarch will struggle. It will be very tough to keep the family together, especially given how he feels about his youngest son, Harry, Duke of Sussex. Falling out is one thing, but disobedient royals have tried the public's patience and run the risk of tearing the monarchy itself. Due to Queen Elizabeth's popularity, her family was able to endure several scandals with minimal oppositions to the idea of regal authority. Even political critics couldn't resist her allure. Most Australian Republicans, if not all of them, are Elizabethans as well, but Charles isn't as highly liked as his mother. The former Queen's popularity may be gauged by the fact that there is essentially no Republican movement in this nation. Many people think that Charles will have less success influencing people's opinions than his mother. King Charles won't be able to achieve it very easily, though his mother Elizabeth was able to accomplish it since she had worked there for a long time and did it expertly. His union with the late Princess Diana was a controversial one. As a result, it will take some time for King Charles to gain the trust of the public, given the controversy surrounding Diana's death. His possible involvement and the third party with his now wife, Camilla, queen consort to the English throne. With Charles as king, people may be less forgiving when the next scandal strikes, but Charles has plans to save the monarchy from itself. Critics say that the king himself has been deeply embarrassed by the actions of certain family members, as well as by his own immaturity. After his mother passed away, King Charles will get a sizable fortune, but it might not be as substantial as many people believe. The British monarchy is believed to have assets worth over $27 billion, the majority of which is real estate, including a variety of castles and palaces. The king receives revenue from many of the assets, just like his mother Queen Elizabeth did before him and his successors did after him. However, they are unable to sell such assets since they do not have personal and legal possession of them. The assets are really controlled by a number of quasi-public duchies and states, each of which has its own executives and boards and releases yearly financial reports. The duchies and states generate money, the majority of which is transferred to the government and a sizable portion to members of the royal family. Less is known about Queen Elizabeth's personal wealth, the majority of which should pass to King Charles without being subject to inheritance taxes.
As the Queen herself did with such unswerving devotion, I too now solemnly pledge myself, throughout the remaining time God grants me, to uphold the constitutional principles at the heart of our nation.
Like the late Queen, Charles will be responsible for giving his approval to legislation that has been recommended by ministers and enacted by Parliament. Additionally, he will grant pastors audiences at which he may counsel, caution, and encourage them. On the recommendation of the government, he can also prorogue a session of Parliament or call for the convocation of new parliaments.
Order! The eyes to the right, 242. The nose to the left, 391.
The eyes to the right, 242. The nose to the left, 391. So the noes have it, the noes have it. Unlock!
All measures enacted by the Parliament must get his approval in order to become law. Since 1707, royal assent has never been denied. It is also a long-standing custom to approach the Queen for permission before debating legislation that would have an impact on the Crown's interests or prerogatives. Last May, Charles opened Parliament and spoke the Queen's speech on behalf of his mother before appointing the leader with a majority of members in the House of Commons to form a government. The monarch is not required to seek advice from anybody or confer with anyone else. 2 days before she passed away, the late Queen already installed Liz Truss as Prime Minister at Balmoral Castle, performing one of her last ever tasks. In the 3 days since his inauguration, Charles has also met with Miss Truss, the cabinet, opposition figures, and realm high commissioners. The council asked the king to formally adopt any instructions that have previously been reviewed and accepted by ministers at each meeting. Additionally, he gives council his approval for proclamations, which are formal statements that address things like the election of a new parliament, currency, and the dates of specific bank holidays. While the nation mourns a long-standing monarch that has served the British economy well, we also prepare as to what lies ahead for the nation as King Charles III takes over the spot vacated by his late mother, Queen Elizabeth II. Do you think the nation will be in shambles because of King Charles III? Or do you believe it is the change that Britain has been looking for as the start of a new era for the UK? Well, let us know what you all think in the comments section below. Don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe to our channel and ring the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.
Of Great Britain and Northern Ireland is solely and rightfully come to the Prince Charles Philip Arthur George. God save the King.
God save the King. 3 cheers for His Majesty the King. Hip hip. Hooray! Hip hip. Hooray! Hip hip.
Particularly if they want you, and sometimes if they don't want you, if you feel that you can do something, even if they think that you're not doing something very useful, and you think you're right there, then you can be of service.